Hey everybody, it's Sarah from the Frugal Bear, and we're in the kitchen again today, and we are making our simple 3-ingredient jelly again. This time we are making a full 12 half-pint batch, so we are using an entire 64 ounces of juicy juice, 100% juice, and we are choosing passion dragon fruit this time. My son is not a huge juice drinker, so to have extra juice laying around is really not the best use for us. It's always been water or milk and the occasional apple juice or orange juice. Today he's drinking orange juice because he is under the weather. Oh, passion dragon fruit smells wonderful. So, have the full 64 ounces in there. And okay. So we have our cans, or our jars, sorry, and the water canner over there heating up, and we have our lids over here. So here's our 64 ounces of juice. Now to this we are going to add our pectin. Now the pectin that we use, we get from Amazon, and it's Hoosier Hills, and I buy it in the big bags. 2 pounds at a time minimum, and I'll link this below in case you're interested, but it's the same as the classic ball pectin. We are going to just mix a little bit of our sugar, just about1/2 cup maybe, a 1/2 cup into a little bowl here, and we're going to take, it's 13 tablespoons of pectin into about a half cup of sugar, and we're just going to mix that up. And we're going to mix that in to our juice, which we have on a medium-high heat right now. And we're going to bring this to a rolling boil. I was going to pickle jalapenos this weekend, and I forgot an ingredient, so we are waiting. But I also decided now I'm going to be pickling Brussels sprouts, and so we'll have that for you next weekend. Okay, make sure all of that, the pectin, is incorporated in there. There we go. So yeah, this is a basic recipe if you want to use the whole 64 ounces of your juice. It's going to be 13 tablespoons of pectin, and it's going to be 11 cups of sugar. So 64 ounces of juice, 13 tablespoons of pectin, and 11 cups of sugar. Now we've already added 1/2 cup of sugar in with the pectin, so when it comes time to adding our sugar, we just need to add another 10.5. And it's actually going to get us just over 12 half pints. So if you have any quarter pints or 4-ounce ball jars anywhere around, that'd be a great time to do a little mini. I do not, however, I just have my pints and quarts and whatever. I already used up all of my minis and haven't replaced them yet. So I'm going to bring you back when this comes to a boil. Okay guys, so our juice and pectin mixture is starting to come to a boil, and as you can see, as I'm stirring through it, it does not stop the boiling. So at this point, I'm going to turn our heat down just a little bit, and we are going to add in the rest of our sugar. Remember, now it's a total of 11 cups of sugar. It's a lot of sugar. Okay, that mixed in. Now at this point, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of butter. And that's just to help with the foaming action, so we get a prettier end product. So you don't have so many foamy bits. Okay, we have our sugar all incorporated. We're going to turn this back up to a medium-high heat. And we're going to bring this back up to a rolling boil. And once it hits a rolling boil, we're going to set our timer for 1 minute and let it boil for 1 minute. And then we will pull our jars and water bath can this for 10 minutes. One of my favorite things to do with these jellies is to put it on wheat thins or Triscuits or any salty, savory cracker. The sweetness of the jelly mixed with that salty, savory cracker is so yummy. Okay, I'll bring you back when this comes to a boil. Okay, we're back. It's been about 6 minutes. You can see we do have some foam at the top. We're just going to skim this off as much as we can. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not as appealing. And now we're going to set our timer for 1 minute. Just going to let this go. And while this is boiling, we're going to keep stirring it, but we're also going to pull our jars. I'm going to move you back quick. And we're going to start pulling our jars. Okay, almost done. 2 seconds, and there's our timer. Turn that off and turn that off. Give this another stir. You want to make sure you use a big pot for this. See, as it's boiling up pretty high right here. So we're just going to continue to stir this until the bubbles go down. Ooh. This is a bit hot, 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 hot. My cord, my microphone wants to go in to the danger zone, to the heat. We don't want that. Sometimes it'd be nice to have extra hands while in the kitchen, wouldn't it? But they would have to be our hands because, you know, once you ask somebody in to help, say your children or your spouse, then it's, if you're anything like me, then it's just, get out of my way, I'll do it myself. That's not true. Well, it kind of is. Okay. Come on. Oops. Let's get our rack up. Like so. I keep saying that I'm going to get one of those handy dandy other jar lifters that I see all over the place, and I never get them. I can't even think of what they're called or who makes them, but they're so neat looking. If anyone can think of what they are, post a comment below and let me know. Careful, these jars are very, very hot. But we want to get as much water out as we can. Come back here and we're going to strain again. Just real quick. Like so. Imagine if I wouldn't have put that butter in, just how much foam we would have. Okay. I wish I had a better strainer. I should invest in one. I should actually look into it. I've never even attempted to look for a better strainer. You would think it would be something that would cross my mind, but it does not. So there we go. So let's get our jars flipped over. Give enough space so that we do not knock any over while we are doing this. Turn my water off. Okay, so we want to leave 1/4 of an inch of headspace here. Remember, this is jelly, so it is very, very sticky. So anything that it comes in contact with will be sticky. So we have our little container of vinegar that we will little bit more in there that we can wipe our lids down with, or our rims down with, excuse me. There we go. Just skim some more. And there's nothing wrong with the parts that I'm skimming out. It's just not as pleasing to look at. It's clinging to the sides, so it's just, if you're giving this as gifts, then you want it to be pretty. So when you're ladling this out of your pan, you want to kind of stay away from the sides of the pan, because that's where it is mostly coming from. I love the smell of this one. I cannot wait. Cannot wait to have this one. So also, later today, I will be making a dump cake. I think maybe I will bring you guys along for that. I'm just going to be doing a cherry coconut dump cake. So if any of you are interested in that, and don't forget, next weekend we will be doing pickled Brussels sprouts, and once I do that, I will link it at the end of this video. Obviously it won't be up when I first put this one up because I haven't done it yet. So my microphone has turned inside out, so I hope that it still sounds okay. There we go. Always, sorry, I kind of forgot I was recording, so I stopped talking. Don't forget, anytime you're canning, but especially when you're making something sticky like jelly, always make sure that you have a sink of hot water. That way you can just drop your stuff in there and let the hot water do its thing right away, and you're not coming back to a sticky, icky mess later. It's also great to just be able to Wash your hands real quick. There's nothing worse than a sticky. Oh, I have too much in that one. Separate. Oops. Now it's all over the side of my jar. What am I gonna do? Okay. Put a little bit more in that one. And when in doubt, you can always use your head spacer to check how much headspace you have, or you just eyeball it if you've been doing this a while. But this is your head spacer. Each little notch is 1/4 of an inch, so we just check it. It's got about 1/2 inch, a little less than 1/2 inch on each. So we're good. And we're going to grab out a little container which will hold some of our excess. Which will go in my refrigerator for my crackers. There we go. Okay. Sorry, that was probably loud. I apologize. Okay. Wash my hands real quick. Get this stuff out of the way. Into my sink. I'm going to grab a paper towel way over here. We have our container of vinegar that we're just going to dunk our paper towels in and go around the outside of our jars and our rims. Make sure they're not sticky, because if there's anything on there, the jars will not seal properly. Hot. Woohoo! Let's try that one again. This is a great time to check your jars for imperfections. Make sure that there is no cracks or breaks in your rim, because once again, they will not seal properly. Okay. I'll bring it back. Okay, so I have them all wiped down and I'm getting ready. I'm putting my hot lids onto the jars. I figured you didn't need to see that whole thing. Just pop them down there. And remember, when you put your lids on, that it is finger tight only. The reason for finger tight is the whole purpose of canning and water bath canning is to get the air out. You want all the air out. And if your lid, your band, is too tight, that air has nowhere to go. And it is not going to seal properly, because there will be air trapped in there still. So, for those of you who are wondering why finger tight, just let the air out. Sorry. Knocking stuff around. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to move my canner over to this front burner because the back burner just doesn't sit on there fully. So we're going to stick our jars in, opposite sides. Get everybody in the bath, just like so. And we're going to, I was going to put that one in. It doesn't have an actual ring on it yet. Whoops. That would have made a mess. Okay. There we go. And so we are going to drop this down. We're going to take that container of vinegar that we had and we're just going to dump that in. Just dump that right in there. We actually have more water in here than we actually need. You need to make sure that you have at least 1 inch over headspace. We're going to turn our 1 inch over the top of the jars, what I meant to say. We're going to turn our burner back on. We're going to bring this up to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, we are going to make sure that the lid does not come off. And we're going to set our timer for 10 minutes. After that 10 minutes is up, we're going to turn off our burner and just let it sit for probably about 5 minutes before we even take the lid off. So we're going to pop our lid on now, wait for it to come to a boil, which shouldn't take too long. It's been sitting here kind of hot on a back burner, so that won't take long, but we'll set our timer for 10 minutes once it comes to a boil. At this point, you can check it. You can see that it's not boiling yet. But once it does come to a boil, do not take this lid off. Leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Set your timer, walk away. Okay? I'll bring you back after our 10 minutes is up and we've let it sit for 5 minutes and we're ready to pull it out. Thanks. Okay. Our water came to a boil. We let it go for 10 minutes without taking off the top. Our 10 minutes were up. We turned off the heat to the burner. We reset our timer for 5 minutes. That has done. And now we can remove our jars. So make sure when you're taking your lid off that you open it away from you so that you don't get a steam burn in the face. So over there. Carefully lift your rack. Actually, let's let my towel go. There we go. Oops. My tripod is holding my jar lifters hostage. So it's always a struggle to get that first jar out when you have them so packed in here. Try not to tip. Obviously you have to tip a little bit. As you can hear, they're already starting to pop, which is a good sign. That pop is them sealing. Always make sure that when you're taking anything out of a canner that you're placing it on a towel and not on directly on your countertop. Your countertop may be cold and that would cause your jars to crack or break. And we went through a lot of work to do these. We don't want to break our jars. So I don't know, can you see that beautiful color in that jelly? So we're going to leave these on our countertop undisturbed for about 24 hours. And then we will remove the rings if you're storing them. If you are gifting them, it is okay to leave the rings on, but I would take rings off until you're ready to gift them. If you leave the rings on and something happens, if they're sitting on a shelf or something and they unseal, you don't know. So you want to take the rings off so that you have that peace of mind that you know that they are actually sealed. That was our 6th one that has popped already. It can take 12 to 24 hours for them all to pop. So you might be hearing pops throughout the night. Just be careful not to accidentally seal one of your lids. You don't want to have a false seal. You want all the air to be out. And you want to know that it's all out. So there you have it. And I will bring you back in just a little bit and show you the extra that I had, that I put in the dish for myself, is setting in the refrigerator right now. So as soon as that is set, I will bring you back and show you it on a cracker. We'll be back. Okay, so the jelly that we had in the refrigerator has set, and this is what it looks like. And so now we're going to try it on our wheat thins, our little crackers. Just a little smear. That is so good. If you guys make this jelly, make sure you try it on some crackers. It makes a great snack. And you don't need a lot on a cracker. Just like that much. It's perfect. Okay. We will see you next week when we do the Brussels sprout pickling. Thanks.